The Batman cinematic franchise has spanned decades, with many actors donning the cape since 1989. With a brand new book by John Jackson Miller connecting the events of 1989's Batman and 1992's Batman Returns now available, we thought it'd be a perfect time to rank every live-action movie in the Batman world from worst to best. For clarity, we'll be including the Joker films, but not the Suicide Squad movies or the original Adam West Batman. This ranking is from 1989 onward. Before jumping in, though, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more lists and other fun videos. Also, head to our website, strangelyawesomegames.com. Kicking off our list at number 12 is Batman and Robin from 1997. It's the final Joel Schumacher effort and the only Batman film to feature George Clooney in the titular role. Chris O'Donnell's back here as Robin, and we get Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. Clooney isn't a bad Batman, but the film is plagued by a lot of things. The villains here are just plain over the top. Uma Thurman and Arnold Schwarzenegger, both of whom have turned in great performances in other films, were held back by overly cartoonish characters that featured more one-liners than depth. The movie tries for some serious moments, but it's silly for far too long to ever take it seriously. At number 11, Batman Forever, 1995. It's unfortunate that the franchise took such a hard turn towards silliness under Joel Schumacher. Batman Forever was his first film, and it largely wastes a solid performance by Val Kilmer in favor of jokes and moments that are arguably insulting to fans of the comics. The movie treats the entire world as a joke, and the fans were the butt of it. Even the excellent Tommy Lee Jones was tiresome by the end as Harvey Dent and Two-Face. After seeing Batman and Batman Returns, Batman Forever made a lot of fans pretty unhappy. Number 10, Justice League from 2017. Zack Snyder's attempt to replicate the magic of MCU's Avengers in the DC world largely fell flat. It's not as bad as some would make it out to be, but it's still bad enough to be number 10 here, so that's saying something. It's a film that's bloated but somehow also shallow, and has characters that just aren't that compelling. It doesn't help that Superman plays such a limited role in the film. Think what you want of the Batfleck, but Henry Cavill's Superman was the centerpiece of the DCEU. Missing him for much of the film hurts. What also hurts is that the movie is Snyder at his Snyderist, and we're not big fans of that here. Number 9, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, 2016. This movie has its redeeming moments. Once we get to the Batman vs. Superman part of Batman vs. Superman, it's fun. But the fact that it was mostly a Man of Steel sequel dressed up as a Batman vs. Superman movie left some fans wanting more. Chalk us up as liking Ben Affleck's Batman more than some others did, though. But that's not enough to make up for what's ultimately a pretty lackluster movie. At times it even verges on boring. 8. Joker, Folie 2024. The sequel to 2019's hit Joker, Folie was both highly anticipated after it was announced and never really asked for all at the same time. Focusing on the events in Arthur Fleck's life after the end of the first movie, Joker, Folie is half musical, half courtroom drama, and wholly unnecessary. Despite great performances by Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, Folie falls flat. It aspires to a lot but never sees anything through. It's part of the reason the movie had the biggest drop in the box office from week 1 to week 2 in box office history and superhero movie history. 7. The Dark Knight Rises, 2012. The final film in Christopher Nolan's trilogy was never able to be what Nolan originally envisioned due to Heath Ledger's tragic death. Still, what resulted was a movie slightly ahead of its time that was a reasonably satisfying end to the trilogy. The Dark Knight Rises surprisingly addresses class warfare ideas years before it became a more common topic in art. Strong performances by Anne Hathaway and Tom Hardy support Christian Bale's Batman in a film that sees the Dark Knight at the end of his crime-fighting career. 6. Batman Returns, 1992. Michael Keaton's second and final, at least until 2023, turn as the Caped Crusader was another solid outing that suffered from a few things that the original didn't. While Tim Burton is an exceptional filmmaker, Batman Returns is what happens when some of his more bizarre impulses go unchecked. The villains in Batman Returns became much more caricatures than what we saw in the '89 film. Gotham itself was also more cartoony, nothing near what would come in the Schumacher films, but enough to have it clash with the appropriately dark tone of the Burton movies. Despite that, Batman Returns is a good time with a story fans still enjoy. 5. Batman Begins, 2005. This movie got the most debate in our team. Some had it higher, some had it a lot lower. Ultimately, we found it a really grounded origin story told before origin stories got old. We see Bruce Wayne's education and combat and mentality in the events that would make him become the Dark Knight. Ra's al Ghul as the central villain is a great choice, and Liam Neeson's performance is really strong. The choices of Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow emphasize the psychological evolution of Batman, a hero embracing his darkness and facing his fears. 4. Joker, 2019. The controversial origin story of Arthur Fleck as Joker is an interesting study in a few things. First, the film examines mental health along with class and inequality as the central character descends into a state where he'll commit the acts that he does by the end of the film. Second, some of the audience response to the film, where some idolized the Joker character and cheered his acts, inspired director Todd Phillips to make the sequel, in which those people were largely rebuked with the story of the second film. Number 3, Batman, 1989. At this point, every film is amazing, and you can't go wrong with whichever order the top 3 you have these films in. We have 1989's Batman here, and there should be no understating what this film meant at the time. Batman legitimized the idea of comic book movies in 1989. Yeah, the original Christopher Reeve Superman was great, but Superman 3 and 4 got increasingly silly and honestly weren't very good. Batman had a solid cast with a legend playing the Joker. Jack Nicholson not only stepped into the role, but it looked like he had a wonderful time playing the character. Everyone involved with the project took the material seriously, which is something Batman fans weren't used to. They got to see a movie that expressed the darkness of the character and the world without seeing pow on the screen in every fight scene. 2. The Batman, 2022. What a way to launch a new era of a franchise. The dark, gritty reboot of the Batman movie franchise featured Robert Pattinson in the role of Bruce Wayne in a world that's arguably even more dark and realistic than Nolan's. The Riddler as the primary villain allows the film to really lean into the detective aspect of the Batman character, which only helped the cause. Colin Farrell as the Penguin is outstanding, and the character even has his own spin-off on Max now. With a sequel around the corner, you don't want to miss this film. And finally, at number 1, The Dark Knight from 2008. The Dark Knight is a movie that set a new bar for the superhero genre. Even if you take the superhero aspect out of the film, it's still a great mob crime story. Put the Joker and Batman back in, and it's nothing short of iconic. Heath Ledger is legendary as the Joker here, stealing several scenes in a truly inspired performance. Not to be forgotten is Aaron Eckhart, who brings a humanity and believability to both Harvey Dent and Two-Face. To this day, The Dark Knight is the best superhero movie ever made, in our opinion. That's our list. What's yours? Let us know in the comments which Batman movie is your personal favorite, and be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for even more movie lists. Have a great day, everybody.